awards India Kager's family $800,000 in damages.
This after the jury found two of the officers the family sued responsible for her death. Kager was shot and killed in 2015 by 4 Virginia Beach police officers who were trying to take her child's father into custody. Tonight we're hearing from lawyers on both sides about the jury's decision. 13
News Now reporter Chanu Her has our top story.
Yeah, David and Regina, the deputy city attorney representing the 4 officers think the jury's decision was a compromise verdict, but Kager's family's attorney thinks the jury's decision proved a point that her life mattered and the police execution on the night she was shot was very poor. However, Police Chief Jim Cervera doesn't agree. After hours of deliberating, a jury comes to a verdict against 2 of the 4 officers India Kager's family sued in a wrongful death lawsuit, awarding that family $800,000.
You know, she mattered. She mattered to this world, and I think the family feels some measure of relief and vindication.
Kager was shot and killed by Virginia Beach police in 2015, along with her child's father, Angelo Perry, who officers believed was on his way to commit murder that night. Police claim he shot at them when they tried to apprehend him. The family's attorney, Kevin Martingale, says the execution by police was poor that night.
We feel like the planning was poor from fairly early on. Then when they began to execute on the vehicular assault, things went bad from the moment they bumped into the back of that vehicle.
Police Chief Jim Cervera disagrees.
I've been a cop for 42 years. There are a lot of different tactics involved in different situations, but at that moment in time, those officers did the right thing at the right moment, and I stand by them 100%.
Deputy City Attorney Christopher Boynton says it appears the verdict was a compromise verdict.
We don't think the evidence supported the finding.
At that moment, when the officers commit, they're committing to what they believe is the right thing, and it is driven by the reaction of the other person, and everybody forgets that.
Boynton says there is still an opportunity to appeal the decision, but Martingale says he hopes the city and police walk away from this having learned.
We hope that they have learned something from it and they'll improve going forward, because this cannot ever happen again.
Now, Boynton did say they offered a settlement a day before the trial started. That settlement was $750,000, which the family denied. Chanu Her, 13 News Now.